Welcome back to the channel, guys. Back on with the 89. Like mentioned, the walk around video kind of re-put into my mind everything that needed to be done. Also how much work I've still got ahead of myself. Panels have now come in for the rear, so we've got a lower panel, like mentioned, there, down, and all the balancing closers. So not touching that. I've told myself I need to sort the sides of the car out before I touch front and back. Front and back don't really faze me too much. I've done one rear panel before, done a few balances, I'd like to say I've lost count of the amount of front ends I've done, but I've definitely done getting up for 10 front ends now. So I'm not too bothered by it. I can make things fit. Got to do what you got to do. Talking of making things fit, off camera I thought I'd just work my way around what panels I've got to go in and you know what I have and what I don't have. So basically I have the panel for here, the panel that sits there, the support panel that sits in the bin basically, and these. So these are from M Machine, and I started to film and I thought I'll do one side and I'll try and work out where I'm at with it, but the whole point of doing this is to document it. So I brought you guys in just to show how much work it's actually taken to get to this point. So I'll bring you guys in a little bit closer so you can see what's happened. But basically, this panel is not the original panel anymore. I've chopped both ends off it and I've actually had to physically make it fit. This curvature is ridiculously out. It's literally a good inch sticking out. It's nowhere even close to the fold on the car. So I'm a bit upset about that in a way, because M Machine have really smashed panels for me in the past, and I mean, the one thing I do love about it is that's proper steel. So already I'm happy because I've worked with that. I've done one of the nicest welds I've ever done in there to make this shorter. So what I've done is I've basically, so this sits, I'm bringing you guys in like I mentioned, and that's the tab that you weld to the back. It was a little bit too long, literally a smidge, and I've literally cut it and just moved it in. Welded that back on, happy at that, it lines up now. But then I've had to cut off the tab that goes there to be able to hand fold this back round to get it anywhere close to the car. So let's come in and have a look. I don't know in this episode if we're going to get any welding done, but I really just want to make the panels fit and see where we get, and then literally once we're ready to go we can start tacking things back together. So it's going to be a lot of work, but look, without further ado, let's have a look. Right, so you kind of join me inside the car now, all lovely and solid, which is a rarity for Simpsons classics. But so I'm going to try and show you guys this where it's at the moment. So you can see on the other side, if you just look about there, million miles off, nearly an inch and a half there. I don't really know what that's all about. I've looked on some reviews and I'm not the only one. So, and the only way to sort these bins out is to buy Heritage full bins, and I really didn't want to do that. And yes, you could argue I could get that far now, but that's attached to that now. It's attached under there. I want to keep something of the car. Plus, I mentioned I want to have a challenge. So I've trimmed this back. That's literally because it's bare metal, and that's pissed me off a little bit, to be honest. But we can move around that. It literally scotches off. It's not an absolute ball ache. So nicely welded inside there. Put that back together. So it basically sits in there. Now I have the tight gap on it now. Obviously it's meant to go up inside there. So what I'll do is I'll go and grab a little tripod and I'll set you guys up. So this obviously is a folded flange that goes inside that. This was the tab that was there, which I had to cut to be able to get this to sit high enough, and then I'm going to have to weld it back on. So let me go grab a little tripod and I'll show you where we're at. So basically that goes in under there, because I got a hole in the quarter panel I can line that up. Really happy, oh there you go, that's where it should be. Really happy with how it literally flushed down the back of the heel board there. And this curve you can see on that other side, which I just zoomed in on you for, I could physically get my finger between it before, but now that fits lovely around the floor, and all I've got to do is slot that through. I can just put that through there. So that's what should be holding it to the seal. And obviously this is the detrimental part of the car, we're going to put that back in. But when it's all held together, once I've got some tacks in it, I'm a lot more happy with that. It's completely flush now. Obviously this door bin's going to need filler because it's got a swaged flange on it, which is not an issue. I prefer to put a little bit of filler in it and tidy it up than have it completely wrong. So like I say, I physically can't do anything that's, you know, it's nice along there now. So what I'll do is I'll start tacking it and just hammer and dolling it along just to make sure it's nice. But that is so much better. Just, if you look at any factory Mini, there is a slight lift off the floor. On the other side, obviously it has a flange as well that you weld to. And then what I've always done on mine is I've just seam sealed them round just to tidy them up all the way around there. It's not, there's a gap between the floor. The flange is actually sat on the floor, but the bin doesn't ever sit flush on there. So what I do is just run a bit of seal around. Happy at that. So what I'm going to try and do is I'll probably tack this so I know this is in the right place again. And then we'll slot it up under this. All this I've left not welded and stuff like that, so we can just tie it all together. But this should be a nice point of the car to make it all nice and strong. But this was atrocious, really was atrocious. So probably time to get some tacks on it really. So I need to clean the floor, clean this, loads of cleaning, and then we'll get it welded in. Again, I've never done these before. It's won't be doing any more. Let's put it this way. This is one of the pain in the arse jobs left on this car, so I've got to do it both sides. Right, so off camera, like I mentioned, you can see there, basically I've just shortened this section of the panel a little bit more just to allow this to fit back on, and it's literally gone back exactly where it was. It's right on the fold. You can kind of see, come swooping in. It's just tacked on for now, but you'll see what I mean when I go to pop it back in the car. So bear with me guys, taking you for the ride. So tilt it under, get the back so there you go. Literally look, you look down and it's completely flush, fits nice, got a nice gap all around. We can get that welded in now. So I'm a lot happier with that. So I just had to basically bloody modify the whole thing. But yeah, let's get everything cleaned up and then we'll get it in. Right guys, so I don't know how much you saw of that. I kept trying to put my camera in decent angles, obviously trying to work. What a pain in the arse job that is. So I've seam welded all the way around the little tab that I moved and put back in. And I started to stitch from the inside round here.
And don't get me wrong, there's stitches on the inside, but I wasn't happy with it. So I basically alternated the stitches and done it around the front as well. So there is, obviously you can see where the very clean metal line is all the way along there. So that's stitch, 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 stitched all the way around. And then you can see the heat penetration on the floor where I've stitched it to the floor as well. And obviously that tab up the back has been welded to the hill board. So I'm happy at that. I'd say I'm happy enough for that. It's going to take a lot of tidying up. Not impressed with the panels at all. I've chatted to a few other people that have done these, and they've all sort of said the same thing, that they're a bit crap. But needless to say, it's fixed, and I'm happy with it. It's a solid pocket. Like when you look down it and stuff like that, it looks nice and, you know, uniform to the car and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to run some seam seal around the inside, because obviously it's car, you know, I want to keep it as nice as possible. So I'm going to hoover everything out, all the little bits of swarf, seam seal the inside, so then that's sealed up. I'm not bothered what it looks like in the inside. There's some stitches and bits and pieces which I'll bring you guys in and show you in a sec. Yeah, it is what it is. And then obviously the whole thing will require skim and filler anyway. Whether I welded it from this side or the other side, it would still need some filler to make it look nice. So yeah, it's just one of them. It needs just like skimming for like Godolphin glaze, but I'm not going to bother tidying this back because this is part knee, seatbelt anchor and stuff like that. I've put a bit more strength back into there, so I'm happy at that. But yeah, let's crack on. Let's get some tidying up done. New floor's all dirty. That screwdriver, swear to God, I don't know how long I've had it. Whole thing gets battered. Let's get tidied up. It's nice and clean. I've seam sealed along the bottom. I've seam sealed now instead of waiting, because obviously I'm going to do a lot of swarf and grinding that side, and I don't want more stuff getting stuck under there, because when it comes to paint prep stage, all that can start rusting in these seams and stuff like that. So I'm going to prime all this, and then obviously that will get filled when we come to paint prep. But yeah, pretty happy at all. Same thing in there. Bit messy, but it's all seam sealed and stuff. Yeah, really happy with it. Really, it's another job done, and we're back on with the 89, so I'm really happy at that. Nice and tidy. Obviously carpet will cover all this anyway, so you won't see it, but for me, couldn't care less. I've used masking tape to make this nice, and job done. So there we have it, guys, the first panel back in the 89, and we're crafted back on with it and we're moving forward. So I filmed as much as I could doing this. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably one of the worst panels I've ever tried to fit, as in to get to weld. It's very difficult, hence why I changed pans halfway through, welded it from both sides, so I got the heat into the panel to get it to sit how I like, and it also is a lot more structurally sound to the car. Underneath you can see the heat penetration where it's literally sort of burnt a hole in the car kind of thing, and it's there, it's bright on there. You know, and I can physically wobble the whole car with the door in now and stuff like that, so it's back to how it was and how strong it was. So obviously it's going to require a bit of filler along that piece when we get to the paint prep stage, or if I just get down a moment where I can't make a lot of noise in the garage, where I can just start tidying it up. Not bothered by that. I knew it would need filler at some point. You're piecing two things together like that, and it wasn't a very good panel to begin with. It's an interior panel which, once the seats and everything in, you're barely going to notice it anyway, but that being said, we still want it nice, don't we? So hence why I've taken the time to seam seal it really tidily and just make it look bob on. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Obviously this is going to be a full swing now. With the rear panels have now arrived, I've just got to go and grab them. A friend of mine's ordered them up for me, and I've just got to go to get them. So we're going to get those. We're looking at ordering the front panels. I know a lot of people have commented saying on Instagram, saying obviously the scuttle on the front end. I'm going to do both quarters, back end and front end, just the way I want to work with the car, so I do apologise for that, but please bear with us and watch the videos, comment away and stuff like that. So give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, comment below anything you'd like to know, and yeah, as ever, please go check out our sponsors Frost. And the next video we're going to keep moving with this theme, and we're going to start playing with the quarter panel, getting it right and getting the two panels or three panels, one of them included is that strength filler. Get that in, quarter panel on the lower repair. So catch you next one, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this. Goodbye.